All right, now we are ready to work on our little handle. So if we check here, right on the side, we see it's a very simple handle. So what we are going to do, we're going to create a profile curve. Then we're going to extrude it, and then we're going to merge it somewhere here and here. And the best view to start that is here. Now be sure that you are in edit mode, okay? So when you double check that you're in edit mode, you can do Shift A and do the circle. Now, before you deselect the circle, do anything else. You see how many vertices you have? And we don't need that many because we really need to merge them here, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices. And if I check here, there is my circle, and I'm gonna just type here 6. All right, and now I have a 6. Let me go back to wireframe. All right, now we're gonna scale this and position it somewhere here. And I'm gonna also zoom in, and I'm gonna scale Z in the Z direction. So S, Z, and make it something like this. And maybe touch scaling more. All right, now let's see how that looks on the side. So I hit 4 and you went to the right view. So move it here where it's going to be. And now I'm going to hit R to rotate. So R and just drag it like this. And I'm going to try to put it next to these vertices, like these ones. So later on, I can just merge them, right? So I can maybe scale just a touch a little bit here and rotate just a little bit. All right, so something like that. And then I'm going to start extruding these and end up somewhere here. So hit E and just drag and hit R to rotate. And you can even scale it a little bit. And then E, extrude again, hit R to rotate this. And again, maybe if you think you should scale it a little bit. So just go around carefully, not too many or not, but also be sure that you have enough. And if something like this happened, like I didn't rotate, just hit A, deselect, hit B to select these ones, and then rotate. All right, then hit A to deselect, hit B to select these again, and then continue. So E, extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate. And as you're coming, try to see where you're gonna finish, right? So this is maybe here, rotate, and then E, somewhere here. I'm gonna rotate it nicely, maybe move it even closer. All right, so if I rotate, I see something like this. And notice that my cup, that actually I would rather have these somehow merge them here. So what I can do, I have a few things I can do. I can rotate the whole cup and align to this one. I can maybe merge this one and this one here, and then just kind of tuck in this one and this one. So that's the other one option. I can also, if my handle is that large, I can maybe merge this one to this one and this one to this one and so on, and see how that goes. I can also move these points. So many options I can do. And so let's me deselect. And I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge this one here, and this one here. And then I'll see how that looks like. I'm gonna back to the solid. And let's see, so if I, also there is one nice option you can turn on, and this is one, limit selection to visible. So if I click this, right, only I cannot select these dots behind, and that helps, these vertices behind. So I can select this one, and holding the shift, second one is here. So first one was this one, second one. The order is important because when I choose the option to merge, I will say at last. So this will kind of go and drag over here. Then I can do this one, and holding the shift, again, merge at last, right? And this one, and merge at last. And this one, merge at last. I just made a mistake, so let me undo this. Hit A, this one, and this one. And merge at last. So carefully go around, hit A. And I'm selecting, right, this one, and this one. And again, merge at last, and hit A to deselect, right click, holding the shift, merge at last, right? Now let's see what can we do about these ones. So I can set this one and this one, right? And merge at last, right? Then this one, and merge. You can always hit A to deselect, and then right click, hold the shift, right click again, merge at last. All right. So now we have our cup, right? And if I go into object mode, now as you can see, it's a little bit kind of, it's not so smooth, right? So if I come here and under this object modifiers, and under add modifiers, come to subdivision surface, see how it created the like additional subdivisions, and I can add even more, and then as I'm adding, it's becoming more and more smooth. But you have to be careful. The more you're adding these steps, the more geometry is applied, and your object is becoming more and more heavy memory-wise and for machine to operate. You can also increase the rendering option, which can help with the rendering. So if I hit 0, right, this is what my camera view is. And if I come here, I can just do one quick image rendering my image just to see how smooth this is. And it looks pretty good, right? So now I'm going to click back, and I'm going to go back to my 3D view, right? And of course, if I come to the top view, and if I'm an object, if I hit R, rotate, like I can rotate like this, maybe hit 0, and check this one, how it looks like. So I think it's looking pretty good, clean, and for this is pretty nice. So I'm gonna do option file, save as, and I'm gonna say that I would like to be this maybe object, save as object 2, save as Blender file, and now I have my second step. So that's one object. Now we can create our second object in this layer. These are the layers. Or I can click here and start from the scratch. It's anyway how I would, whatever I would like. All right, so the first thing I would like to change to remove is to have, instead of this green cup, which is kind of done, I can go with the other one. So let's see in the front. Instead of front, I would like to have, let's try white waist. That's the easiest one. So I can do like this. And I don't need anything from the side, so click X and remove it. And from the top, I can, instead of this one, I can choose something else. So I'm gonna come here into the references and white waist top, and I can open the image, but I have to be in my top view. All right, so now I can see it. All right, and as you can see, it's not really perfectly centered. If I start building with my circle, it will be a little bit off. So in my top view, I'm gonna move a little bit down. Oops, too much. Something like this. All right, so let's see how that goes. The procedure is the same. We're gonna again start with the circle and Shift A, mesh, circle, right? And it's a 0, 0, which is good. Right now we are working kind of on top of the object from the first layer, but we can always move them later on. So if I go back in my top view, and somewhere here, I can maybe scale a little bit. As you can see, my image is a little bit tilted, so it's not perfect, right? It's not perfectly centered, but I'm going to just use it. So again, let's go back into the edit mode. So I'm going to hit object and come here. And then you know this, extrude, Z, scale, extrude, Z, scale, extrude, Z, scale. So try to follow this nice curve, and I'm gonna go back to wireframe, extrude, Z, maybe just touch a little bit, scaling inwards, extrude, Z, scale, extrude, Z, scale. So now we have a little bit more geometry here, but not too much. And scale. Now we can even drag this all the way like this. All right, a little bit of work here. Scale. And then again, I like to have some kind of bevel. So extrude Z here, and then scale. And then we're gonna make that top with that click. So extrude, click with your mouse, S for scaling, right? And that made this flat edge, right? So let's go inside, extrude Z, this. I guess we can even do it a little bit like that, because there is really little chance that anybody's gonna see what's going on inside, and it helps to reduce amount of geometry. Alright, so we are coming toward the end. So let's, because nobody's gonna see inside, I can just do extrude, click, scale, inside, and then merge and center. Now let's make some nice bevel edge here. So hit A just to deselect everything. B to have box selection, and then extrude Z just a little bit. Scale it just like that, and then extrude, click, scale, merge at center. All right, and basically that's our object. So if I hit tab and go back to my object mode, I can also change to the solid. That's my object. And again, I'm going to apply a little modifier right here, subdivision, just a little bit. So we're gonna have something like this, right? And I believe if I go into the 0, and as you can see, it's kind of much larger than our cup is, but right now I won't be much nervous about that. I can always change the size later on. I was holding the shift key. I stepped on my first layer, and that made it available for me to see this one object. So I'm gonna right click on it and just move it a little bit. And now I can scale it if I want a little bit. And I can scale this one, and I can start building my composition. Again, it's a little bit too early for this, but and I can put it kind of closer to each other. But I can, I worked hard, so I want to see some results, right? So if I hit render and hit the image, now I see my images are shaping nicely and everything is coming together. So this is a nice moment for me to do save as. And I'm going to say save as 3, just in the case if I realize that I made some big mistake, I can always go back to that good file. All right. Now we're ready to build our third object. And then we can also add some planes to have create some kind of scene, simple scene. Add some color and maybe move our light and render.